Hello everyone. The next topic is we are studying about the Bluetooth. This is the last topic in first chapter of module 3. As we know, Bluetooth is a wireless LAN technology designed to connect devices of different functions without in contact, but they all should be at a short distance from each other. And the Bluetooth LAN is an ad hoc network. Ad hoc network means the network is formed spontaneously. The history of this Bluetooth is it is mainly originated at a project by a Ericsson company. The applications of this Bluetooth is we can use peripheral devices such as wireless mouse or keyboards. We can connect by using a Bluetooth to the system without the technology. Then another application is we can also use it for monitoring devices that can communicate with sensor devices that can be used in small healthcare companies. And it is also used for some security devices for connecting different sensors. And also it is used in many conferences where the conference attendees can synchronize their laptop computers at a conference. These are the applications of this Bluetooth. And let us see the architecture of this. In this architecture, we need to study three types, that is Piconet, Scatternet and Bluetooth devices. Piconet means the Bluetooth device network is called a Piconet. Piconet means it is a small net. That means Piconet can have up to 8 stations. 8 stations, only one station is primary and another 7 station is or secondary. You can see this diagram. One station is primary and all other stations are secondary. Maximum you can have 8 stations here. So one station as primary and 7 stations as secondary. Here, all the secondary stations synchronize their clocks and hopping sequence with the primary. The communication between the primary and the secondary stations can be one-to-one or it can be one-to-many. Here, the Piconet have a maximum of 7 secondaries. Another additional secondaries is there that has to be in the parked state. Parked state and the synchronization is happened between the stations, but it cannot take a communication in a part. So if we need to communicate with it, has to move from a parked state to the active state. Next, scatternet. Scatternet means it is a Piconets can be combined to form this called a scatternet. The secondary station in one Piconet can be a primary in another Piconet. See, if this is a one Piconet, this station is secondary for this Piconet, but this station acts as a primary for another Piconet. So it will collect information from this and it will act as a primary and it will share the information to all the secondary stations. So this is diagram of the scatternet. It can be the station can be a member of two Piconets here. Bluetooth devices means it has a built-in short-range radio transmitter and the current data is 1 Mbps with a 2 to 4 gigahertz bandwidth. If it has to satisfy this range, then it will act as a Bluetooth device for the system. Next topic, we have Bluetooth layers. Bluetooth layers means this is the diagram of Bluetooth layer. Here we need to study the L2 cap layer, baseband layer and radio layer. These three layers in detail we are studying in this video. First, let us see the L2 cap layer. L2 cap layer means L2 cap, that is a logical link control and adaptation protocol. L2 means LL, so logical link control and adaptation protocol. It is roughly equivalent to the LLC sublayer in LANs. It is used for the data exchange on an ACL link and SCO channels. That ACL and SCO will get to know in the next video, in the same video. But let us say it is very equivalent to the LLC sublayer. Here we have the data packets of the L2 cap data packets. First, length is of 2 bytes. If it is of 2 bytes means 16 bits. These are the three layers we are studying in Bluetooth, that is L2 cap layers, baseband and radio link. L2 means logical link control and adaptation protocol. L2 means LL. So logical link control and adaptation protocol, that is the L2 cap layer. And also baseband layer and radio layer. These three layers we are studying in this video. First let us see L2 cap layer. Here the data packet format is there. In this data packet, here 2 bits is of 16 bits, 2 bytes of 16 bits length. So it defines the field, that is the size of the data in bytes. So what is the size of the data? That should be defined in the length. And the data can be up to 65,535 bytes. The channel ID means, that is CID, defines a unique identifier for the virtual channel created at this level. Here we have some duties that is represented by L2 cap layer. The duties of L2 cap layer is multiplexing, segmentation and reassembly, then QoS, then group management. These are the properties, and that is the duties of the L2 cap layer. Multiplexing means L2 cap can do multiplexing. At the sender side, it accepts data from one of the upper layer and it frames them and delivers them to the baseband layer. Same at the receiver side, it accepts a frame from the baseband layer, extract the data and delivers them to the appropriate protocol layer. So this is the multiplexing. Next one is segmentation and reassembly. The maximum size of the payload field is in a baseband layer is 2774 bits. That is 2774 bits. It's of 343 bytes. But in this 4 bytes are packet and packet length. It defines the packet and packet length. So the size of the data is 343 minus 4, that is 339 bytes. Actually it is of 339 bytes is the actual data for the payload. In 339, if any of the packet received from the upper layer is more than this 339 bytes, that is, for example, sometimes the internet packets are of 65,535 bytes. That time we need to fragment it and we need to reassemble again. Avagenagate L2 cap divides these large packets into segments and add extra information, that is where the location of the segments is from. And at the receiver side, it will reassemble them at the destination. That is the duty of the L2 cap. Next one is QoS. QoS means quality of service. It is sufficient that quality of service is not defined, then Bluetooth device is actually acts as a high effort service. High effort service means will do it the best under the circumstances. That is quality of service. Group management means, here if another baseband of L2 cap, another functionality of L2 cap is it will allow to create a type of logical addressing between themselves. Andre, we can share the information in a group. Multicast grouping is also possible in the L2 cap layer. So that we'll call it as a group management. So these 4 are the duties of the L2 cap. That is multiplexing and segmentation and reassembly, QoS and group management. This is about the L2 cap layer. Let's see the baseband layer. Baseband layer, it actually very equivalent to the MAC sublayer in length. Its access method is TDMA, that is TDMA. That means time division duplex TDMA. We are using time division duplex TDMA. The maximum length of this time is 625 microseconds. Usually it is of 625 microseconds. Time it is divided for each frame. Here we can see the TDMA. In TDMA we are going to studying the single secondary communication and multiple secondary communication. Single secondary communication means here, this is the diagram for single secondary communication. If the piconet has only one secondary, then TDMA operations is very simple. The time is divided into slots of 625 microseconds. That is, it is even number slots are used for the primary and the odd number slots are used for the secondary. Even numbers means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and odd numbers means 1, 3, 5 are used by the secondary users. See, at the slot 0, the primary is sending the data. At slot 1, secondary is sending the data. Again, at slot 2, the primary is sending. At slot 3, the secondary is sending. So here we assume that the piconet is having only one secondary. So we are using a primary and a one secondary method. This is a single secondary communication. If we need to do a multiple secondary communication, that means we assume here the piconet is having more than one secondary channels. That means, for example, here you can see the secondary 1 and secondary 2. At slot 0, the primary is sending. At slot 1, the secondary is sending. Here, the even slots are mainly referred to a primary stations, and the odd slots are referred for the secondary stations. But what happens, you can see here, in slot 0, the primary sends a frame to secondary 1. In slot 1, only secondary 1 sends a frame to the primary, because it has mentioned in the previous address. Other secondaries are silent here. Again, at the same time, in the slot 2, the primary sends a frame to secondary 2. And in slot 3, only the secondary 2 sends a frame to the secondary address, and all other secondaries are silent here. Here the cycle repeats. If you have many number of secondaries, the cycle repeats. Here we can say this method is almost similar to the poll and select operation that we have studied in the last module. Here we need to study the links of two types, that is SCO and ACL. SCO means a synchronous connection oriented link. That is, it is used only to avoid the latency. Latency means to avoid the delay in data delivery. It is nowhere bothering about the integrity. Integrity means error-free delivery. It is not bothered about the error-free delivery. It is bothered about only to avoid the delay in the data. ACL means asynchronous connectionless link. Here it is only bothered about the error-free delivery, but it is nowhere bothered about the without any delay. It need to deliver whatever may be the delay. If delay is also there, it need to deliver without any error. That is ACL, asynchronous connectionless link. We can see the frame format type here, that is access code. Here we can see the three time slots, that is A slot, 1 slot, 3 slot and 5 slot. Here the slot we already know that it is defined for 625 microseconds, right? Each slot is divided as 625 microseconds. In this, 259 microseconds is used for hopping and control mechanism, and remaining is 366 microseconds. So we can say that the time slot is of 366 microseconds. If we are using one slot frame, one slot means it uses a 366 bits. If we are going for 3 slot, then it will take as 3 into 625 minus, we are 259, we are subtracting. So the total will be 1616 bits is for 3 slot. Again, if we are going for 5 slot, then it will be 5 into 625 minus 259. So it will be of 2866 bits, that is for 5 slot. Here Access code is of 72-bit field, normally contains synchronization bits, and it is an identifier of the primary. ಯಾವುದು ಪಿಕೋನೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಕೋಡ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Again, header is of 54 bits. Here the 3 times the repetition of 18-bit pattern, that is of 64 bits. You can see first one, we can say it in header, that is address, that is of 3 bits. This subfield can define up to 7 secondaries. If the address is 0, it is used for broadcast communication of the primary to all secondaries. And type, it is of 4 bits, defines the type of data coming from the upper layers. And F means here we are going for flow control. If it is set 1, then it need to control the flow of the data. A means it is an acknowledgement. If this bit is set to 1, then we need to receive a sufficient for the acknowledgement. Then yes is for the sequence number. Bluetooth uses stop and wait ARQ, and 1 bit is sufficient for the sequence numbering. Then HEC means that is a header error correction subfield that is used for the checksum of detect errors in 18-bit header section. ಹೆಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎರರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ HEC ಬಿಟ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಲೋಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ 0 to n bits. n varies for 3 different slot frames. If you're using 1 slot, that is for 240. If you're using 3 slot, it is of 1490. If you're using 5 slot, it is of 2740. This is a frame format. Next we'll study the radio layer. Here the radio layer, in this we need to study the band and FHSS and modulation. Band means it uses a 2.4 gigahertz ISM band. It is divided into 79 channels of 1 megahertz each. And FHSS means the frequency hopping spread spectrum. It is a method used in the avoidance of interference from other devices. That is used for the technology used in the Bluetooth device. Here the modulation we are using GFSK. Specifically it is of GFSK, that is FSK method only, but FSK with Gaussian bandwidth filtering. ಆ ಮೆಥಡ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Here we have a formula, that is FC, the channel frequency, that is 2402 plus n megahertz. This n varies from 0, 1, 2 up to 78. So for example, the first channel use the carrier frequency is 2402 gigahertz. If you are using second channel, then it is for 2403 gigahertz. Like that we can divide the modulation. This completes your chapter 1 of module 3.